I get things situated here just a moment, folks. Huh. It's not coming up. There we go. A little bit of a delay. Yeah, let's change this to this. All right. Can't do this stuff ahead of time with this setup. All right, so we have the monster truck build here, and I didn't really have a good idea how I was going to go about this one. All I know is we need to have a monster truck so we can figure out the monster truck rules. Which way does it hang? Oh, it's a work day. We're just trying to get along. We're just trying to get by. Okay. So we're going to glue these extra armor parts here, and I may rethink which way the... Really? We'll get you later. We got more of these. We may change the direction that we're doing on the front of this because I've got this one piece that's really cool. It's this armor plate, and it's got a couple little slots for you can put a couple guns in there. And, you know, this thing is equipped with 2 miniguns, or we decided it was going to be equipped with 2 miniguns. And I can put them side by side. I got to use smaller miniguns, which, you know, doesn't really affect anything other than, you know, just, well, they do the same amount of damage. Well, they just fire faster. I don't know. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these 2 miniguns in here and see how it looks, and then decide if I'm going to do that or go originally with the 2 on the roof. But we're definitely going to put these on the side. And if I glue them now, can I pick? No, I got to paint them black first. I don't like this whole multi-step thing, but I prefer to build everything first and then paint it. And I could reach it, but it would just take a lot longer to just, if you don't have it pre-painted. You don't want to like look through it just right and go like, hey, what's that light gray thing on the inside? You don't want to be distracted by that. All right. This will do, I guess. Put a little bit of this primer. Really could use black paint for anything. It doesn't really need to be primer. It's in a place that's not really going to get handled or anything. Another vehicle with a minigun. I don't have that many. What I have a severe lack of is flamethrowers. I only have one vehicle so far that has flamethrowers. The fact that they use 2 build slots is a big bummer. Oh, they'd be too powerful. They're too short range to be powerful. The range on the flamethrower is like, I could see you playing some race and their flamethrowers never coming into range. I could totally see that happening. All right, so we're going to take these 2 And we're going to glue them, and we're going to glue them in such a way. And that's the problem with a lot of these like openings they have in the window. If the gun comes out at 90 degrees, the window is, the window isn't straight on usually on vehicles. It's slight an angle, so you're like shooting up at like birds or something, which could be a problem, I guess, but you don't need to use a minigun to shoot at birds. All right, so we're going to super glue this thing like this at that angle, and that should be straightforward. I know, and it's like, okay, well, the gun's up here. How are you going to shoot folks down here? Well, the mysteries of science. So we're going to glue these two side by side. See if I like how it looks. If not, we'll go with the whole roof thing. Mhm. I think I like how it looks. And even with them angled like that, they're still kind of shooting up at the sky. There's not much you can do. Well, that's not true. I could glue them like that. Okay, I like that. I like that. That looks good. That looks good. I don't do a whole lot of planning on these things in advance. Um, Gold Digger was probably the only one I kind of planned in advance, based on its name. All right, let's do the same thing here. Let's remove these two. Let's put this face down. I hope the weathering on this one makes this vehicle pop. Because while I like the name of the vehicle, I like the logo on a vehicle. This blue is just kind of uninspiring. It's just a little. But these dark colors look a lot better when they're weathered because the weathering tends to lighten them up. Z Toys is who makes this thing. I found out the other day on the internet. No idea who they are. They might be a brand that's carried, I don't know, at 5 and Below or something like that. It's definitely a. Oh, the wheel stayed closed. That's good. This is what's good about using this primer. If I'm going to prime these miniguns, the miniguns have a lot of nooks and crannies and the little barrels at the end, the little barrel openings at the end. This stuff flows right into all of it really well. Almost like thinned out enamel paint. It's pretty much dry, so we're going to rinse this. Northern Michigan, you gotta. When's gonna be your first snow you have to shovel, man? Well, you might actually enjoy it. I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody out there that enjoys shoveling snow. I can tell you one thing. I'm never gonna rake leaves ever again. I'm scarred from having to do 130 bags just one time. This big ass oak tree with tiny little leaves. They were like narrow and shit. Still scarred from being 14 years old or whatever. My back still hurts from it. Let's Oh, we should have a video to do tonight. Let's see if I can put this somewhere that's not going to be. Oh, we've got some toothpicks, don't we? We got some leftovers of toothpicks. I thought I did. Having two build stations is kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, I got leftover toothpicks, and I used toothpicks for this little guy. How about this, man? This is my favorite thing I built yet. And it didn't seem to get much reaction from people. Like, anybody can build a fucking car, especially that black one. I'm not really excited about that. What is that, Ramrat? Like, whatever, it's all one fucking color. This is what's making stuff out of fucking garbage, you know? And I won't turn it upside down because the little cars on the roof aren't glued yet. But, yeah, and then nothing goes on here. This is just a side ambiance thing. Yeah, it's the best thing I've ever made. Because I literally made it out of nothing. Now, that was totally like ad-libbed. It did take a while to build it because of the, okay, now what am I going to do next? It took about 4 or 5 hours probably to build it. Like if I knew what I was going to do, it wouldn't take 5 hours to build it, but just kind of figure it out. That's my favorite thing I've built. But I think a lot of people like this Gasland stuff, things that look like a fucking garbage. You know, great, now the fucking tweezers are over there. Jesus H Christ. Like something right out of Mad Max or something. And that's not my preference. My preference is to, I like the fact that you can tell that this is a Bronco or a Ford truck of some kind. What is your goal? Is how many gasoline vehicles you're going to build? Well, right now I'm just building them just to build them. That's like saying somebody that like, hey, how many things of Lego are you going to build? I don't have a goal. I don't have a goal. I don't have a mission statement. God, I hate mission statement. I hate that terminology. I don't have one. If I had to have a goal, it's probably a very big one because there's teams that I want to do that have no vehicles in them yet. So like I want to do some Mexican lowriders, and I haven't done one yet. I have, but I haven't. Not in the modern way. Not with weapons and stuff. So this is my therapy. This is still wet. So we're going to do what? Well, that's wet. We'll paint this black, but we don't want to use a brush that could actually get some of the super glue. Yeah, live super glue like that. So that's why I don't like super glue. But I don't really have a goal. I know that I've got about a dozen vehicles to do the cards for. So we have to do those before we play these new ones. But it's like, I got like 30 other vehicles. Like these new ones don't have to be used like this weekend. The people that are playing haven't even used all the old ones once. So, we got rednecks. So the urban guys are actually pretty. I got like 7 or 8 vehicles for them. It's funny because those are actually the most fun ones to do so far that I've enjoyed. But no, I don't really have a goal. Hell, we've never even played anything that's not a death race. So there's a lot left to do. A lot left to do. Well, I'll eventually have a helicopter. Now the rules for the helicopter are for one of I think only one of the teams, I can't even remember. Who are those people that have I need to write this down because it comes up all the time and I can never think of who they are. Those fucking mercenaries that went over to Iraq or whatever the hell those guys are called. It's inspired by them. And the game is called Rutherford. It has some redneck looking dude with a big mustache. I'm like, that's the wrong logo for me, but okay. Halliburton. Yeah, they're like Halliburton, basically. And only they can have the helicopter, but not in my world. I mean, then you only have a helicopter on one team? That's stupid. Maybe they do that because maybe there's no rule for helicopters fighting each other, but I haven't even done a monster truck. We haven't even used a monster truck yet, so we kind of need to do that before a helicopter. I would build a rig before I did a helicopter. But yeah, there'll be a helicopter. I don't know that there's any vehicles that I won't do. Mainly just interested in seeing how they play in the game. What do we not have? Drag racers. We have several to do. We just haven't done one yet. Bikes. I don't have the figures of bikes and sidecars yet. Ice cream truck. We've done that. Gyrocopter is what they call it. Gyrocopter. Ambulance. We're working on it. Parts come in. That's probably going to be the first one I'm going to do with the parts. Heavy truck, we have one. Monster truck, this one. Bus, we have one. Oh, there's a helicopter also. Helicopter and a gyrocopter. Oh boy. Tank, I'm not really interested in doing a tank. I have a whole game that's focused on tanks. I'm not saying I'm not going to build one, but Tank Girl. No, I've not seen that movie. And get the girls team with a. But I don't like the whole idea of there's these teams and you get free shit on all the teams, because I don't know if I think that that's really well balanced. I'd rather have this, free agents and like one of my girl drivers is on the Japanese team. Well, she can also be on the girl team too. Road grader, it'd be really slow. It'd look the part though. I do have a what's it called? I'm losing my vocabulary. Is it a road grader? I guess the thing that has the big smushy thing on the front, the roller. I have one of those, but I got it mainly because I want to put the roller on something. That'd be good on a clown vehicle. I don't crazy clown going on with a roller trying to roll people up. Or I can't do them loud enough. I'll wake everybody up. I got a house full of people, so still doesn't keep me from painting though. The show must go on. All right, you're still wet. I know, I get it. All right, now we'll go ahead and we'll paint this black, and maybe by the time we're done painting this black, this one we can glue it on. You got rednecks up there in your neck of the woods? I mean, I know you do. I mean, hell, I have them in England, but they don't fly like the rebel flag or anything like that, do they, up there? This thing's asking to have a really big one. And of course, we're going to do, rebel flag with the colors reversed. Big old whip antenna. I found another video at lunchtime yesterday. Another guy that does stuff like 3D Bot Maker. Well, similar, but not as good. Nothing's as good as 3D Bot Maker. And watched it a little bit, wasn't really impressed. And then I found somebody else that was doing a demolition derby kind of thing. And I got some really good chuckles off of that. Let me think of what the name of their channel is. I just subscribed to it yesterday. But all they do is, like, they've got this one ramp, and they've got a car at the bottom of the ramp. And their goal is to have these cars, and then, they name them and do all the stuff. That's the whole point, is to have them, all customized and have names of the cars. And a couple of them made me really chuckle. I really appreciate it when people put some of that creativity into it. But it's just a ramp, and they just have to land at the bottom of the ramp. And the ramp basically ends with like a building. So it's literally almost like a flume from a water park ride. So one of them will settle at the bottom, and then the next one goes, and the whole goal is when you're done with all the cars to be upright. So in other words, if this car slides all the way down and is here, when the other one comes and hits him, this one may still stay upright, or it might kick this one and knock it out, and then next week, and it's the commentary on it is pretty funny. I don't remember what the guy's channel is. Looking forward to watching some more at lunchtime, but I got some good chuckles, especially on with some of the names of some of these things. Some of this stuff happens. Some parts fall. Like, I wouldn't want to do that with any vehicles. Like, put any effort into the vehicles and then crash into them. Like, I don't want to do that. That just, no real. Well, there's some people that put stuff up there that are, uppity, you know. There's nobody up there that has a rebel flag up there. I'm sure they do. Dis- Displaced crackers. It doesn't bother me any. It's just, I've seen it my whole life. Like I said, I just want to reverse the colors so you don't have a problem with it on YouTube with the bots. The bots on YouTube, not the people, the bots. A lot of militia. Well, that would be the same equivalent. All right, let's go ahead and put this thing on. And I like the small guns because it's like, oh, a pussyfoot, that thing can't hurt anything. It's like, whoa, what the hell?
I told you she got a bite.
And we're going to lay this thing up like this. And I bent this so it fits the contour of the truck, and I think I did it just about right. It's actually a lot harder than you think it is because this isn't that pliable. And I'm not doing the hot water thing. I did that once in my life, and we're not doing it again. That did not go well. After your work a couple of days ago on the flat Topolino, I don't know what you're saying. Fiat Topolino. Oh, okay. The little hot rod. You're hooked. It's cool, man. Look, here's the reality of it is, right? Well, if you're a hobby person, like if you're working on hobbies, whatever it is, flames of war, I don't care what it is that you're doing. It's unlikely that you pick up a hobby and then you're going to drop it. Most of us just get involved in other hobby. If you get involved in this and build one vehicle, what do you have spent on it? $1. Like, it's damn near free, you know? But when I say discovered is, I discover it for me. I'm not sitting there saying, hey, well, I've been doing that for 20 years, okay, I get it. I don't know everybody's life story. Like when I say, hey, I discovered using hand sanitizer to clean paint, I'm not insinuating nobody's ever done it. I've just never seen anyone make a video about it. So when I discovered that I could find a way to keep the original paint jobs on these vehicles and just weather them, it is a massive time savings. That's that's the biggest time saving I've found. And it's not like I'm in a hurry, but there's no point in taking 3 hours doing something that you can do in 30 minutes, right? Because you could just be working on another vehicle. All right, now we should be able to avoid all the black, the glued areas. And at least get this all one uniform color so we can kind of start getting a glimpse of what this is going to look like. Yeah, that little hot rod, that little Fiat hot rod, it has great graphics on it. And to go and repaint it, like, you're never going to get those flames again, you know? Now, there's a lot of Hot Wheels vehicles with flames on them, a lot. So, you know, oh, you have 2 full-size Fiats. You know what I didn't know about Fiats? That the little nickname is Fix It Again Tony. And when I found out about that, I laughed for a long time. That was funny. Well, I know that Fiats are supposedly, you know, not very reliable, but, you know, a lot of vehicles are not really reliable. The Fiats that the Italians had in the Second World War, their trucks in the desert, were pretty reliable vehicles for the desert. I mean, the desert is cruel to everybody, you know. But they were pretty good vehicles. It's all about QC, you know. Some companies just don't give a shit about QC, and you get something that doesn't last, you know. And then some think, you know, we don't want people to have a bad reputation of it. And then sometimes you get bad apples. You know, you could buy something that it's a good brand and you get a lemon kind of thing, you know. 2 full-size Fiat. But let me ask you this: is a Fiat really ever full size? Around here, you only see the small ones. You only see those little ones, whatever they're called. I mean, they're cute. And I guess they make the bigger Mini Cooper looking, I guess it'd be like an SUV. The Fiats could be one of those things like about German cars that they're intrinsically not unreliable, but they're very and you probably could answer this if you have several of them. They have very meticulous maintenance that you have to do to them, and let's face it, most people are slackers when it comes to maintenance on their own personal vehicles. And like the car I have, people say, "Oh, people always blow up the engine." I have a Subaru WRX. Well, the problem is you've got these, you know, hotheads that want to get 500 horsepower out of the engine, and you can do it, but the engine's not made for that. So then you blow up the engine. So does it have a glass engine? No, you're just trying to overtax what you're doing, or you don't do proper oil changes or stuff on that. So the Fiats might be, you know, something like that. Like the Fiats are really small, not as small as the car across the street. I got a neighbor across the street that I haven't talked to him about it, but he's an older guy, but he has 3 or 4 smart cars. They're all, which is basically a micro car compared to any Fiat. You know, actually, I got a couple other Fiats to do. They're cute little things, you know. With a Holden V8, it's a Mighty Mouse. I got at least 2 other Fiats to do. You know, the little buggies. I'm going to make them buggies. That makes them very limbery. I've had buggies aren't a lot of points, but they're fast and limber. Yeah, we're going to roll with this. Let's put this, wherever this thing is on the top. We'll call it poetry. What's that thing on the top? What do you want it to be? The poetry answer. Yeah, this thing's asking for a big whip antenna. With a big old flag on it. Definitely a redneck vehicle. Although I've seen Mexican lowrider looking, I've seen definitely monster trucks that my Mexican gang would use. But most of them are way too big. You know, this is about the right size. You know, aesthetically. All right. So again, we got to wait for this thing to dry. So while we're waiting for that to dry, we've got some fog lamps up here to do. We've got 2 here and 4 across the top. I'm going to make them in yellow because it adds another color and makes them pop a little bit. I'm a fan of yellow fog lights. That's what I put on my car. I did not want them to be white. I wanted them to be yellow. Let's get a medium-ish brown to use. Something like this leather brown. And this is what we've been using for our yellows. I mean, the game isn't perfect, but it provides a decent narrative. Really interesting, crazy things happen within a game, and that makes it worth playing. And we need a little bit of this, as we always do. All right, so we're going to add just a little touch of black to this brown, and a little bit of water. You need a little bit of water to keep things moving smoothly. That's all. All right, we're going to paint these fog lamps on the front. There's a couple fire extinguishers up here. The smoking lamp is on. All right, and then we're going to come in right in. And leave a little bit of that dark brown around the outside. This thing is so like big, it's like not used to having to hold it below the table. Okay, so now we have this medium brown looking headlamps there. And now we're going to start Well, I had that Holden to do, which is funny because Greg was telling me about that. I don't know. It looks like a Volkswagen product. You know, the little Hot Wheels looks like a Hot. It's actually a Matchbox. This thing. It looks like a Volkswagen to me. It's like a Jetta truck. So I started looking into it, and I was surprised. Like, man, that's a really big engine for a car of that size. So this one actually has pretty nice tires on it. So this thing's going to be grape shot. You could put something back here, pintle mounted. I'm thinking. I don't know who the hell would drive this. I mean, in that color. In my world, you know. I don't have any plans to make an Australian team. Sorry. Not trying to knock them or anything. I'm just saying that I don't think I have that many Australian-like vehicles to really merit that. If I did, it's asking to have, you know, oi or something like that, like hand painted on the outside, like graffiti or some shit like that. Like they commandeered some kind of purple vehicle or something like that and oversprayed some camouflage and then put, you know, graffiti on the side of it. Welcome, Ronald. I think that's what that says. It's really far away. Ronald Mab. All right, now that's dried a little bit. So we're going to add some of this and some yellow. Let me move this up a little bit. There we go. I'm going to treat this the same way I would with a white with a standard color light. We're going to do a little semicircle and then we'll put a pop of the yellow at the top. See how that works. Maybe I'll hate it. Maybe it'll look brilliant. Holden sounds like, and I could be wrong, Holden sounds like it would be like a car racer. Like there's some, like Shelby or something like that. Like, is that what that is? Is Holden like some guy that was like a car racer? Is like, you know, I could make my own vehicles. It sounds like it would be something like that. I know they're a GM yeah, subsidiary. There we go. Okay, and here's what I hate about this hobby. It's like time to go to work. Like, dude, where'd the last hour go? That's a steady hand. This is the easiest thing I have to do all day long. But I'm used to always, you know, I'm a wrist rester. That sounds like an insult. Look at those wrist resters over there. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad. I'll show you guys in a second. It's kind of like, okay, this hand has to be here, so we got to manipulate this and move it in another place. I'm not one of those people that can just paint in midair. I can't even see. I can't see on your screen. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Of course, we need to do the metal on the and I'm going to leave the back of it open. There's nothing back here. They need some airflow in there. As you take paint designs, do you build the whole car too? Somebody already built this. I'm just repainting it. I'm repainting it and making it look like it's part of my world here. Off to work, everybody remember, don't be drinking no fallout water from the gas lamps. No kidding. Drippings. There's no water in gas lands, it's just drippings. It's that Flint, Michigan water. Yeah, I got to get going too, but thanks for stopping by, folks. When we come back, these parts that are the sheet metal that's added, we're going to make them look kind of rusted, but we're going to have them painted up. So we're going to attempt to put some of the blue or a bluish type color like they tried to repaint it. Not on the roof thingy, but on on the sides and on the front. Obviously, the machine guns aren't going to be blue. That would be ridiculous. But anyhow, thanks for stopping by, folks, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.